Good morning on what is a cool, grey and slightly damp day. It is Thursday the 30th of May and I'm in the Read Nook on what is UK Games Expo 2024 Eve, as it were, with a nice hot cup of tea and a box to continue unboxing. And what I've got in here is this. This is the Veiled Vaults of the Onyx Queen. It is Dungeon Core Classics DCC 101, a level 0 adventure. So, the Queen's Onyx Jubilee is set to begin, marking the 95th year of the Merciful Monarch's glorious reign. While the entire realm celebrates the good fortune of their long-lived sovereign, a group of common villagers fight to stay alive. For them, the festivities become a nightmare, as the sounds of revelry are replaced by screams of terror, their own. Imprisoned in opulence, marked for death, hunted by creatures both grotesque and foul, this ragtag group of unsuspecting villagers must band together to brave the vile mysteries that haunt this place and stand defiant in the face of death itself, if they hope to escape the veiled vaults of the Onyx Queen and save their very souls. So, this is a character funnel. It is designed for 0 level characters. And what happens in Dungeon Core Classics is you will play not one character at 0 level, you will typically play 3 to 4, 4 is normal, and hope that essentially one of them survives long enough to gain the 10 experience points necessary to go up to first level, acquire a class, and continue play like that. In the meantime, what the character has to do is rely upon his luck, his core stat bonuses, and his player's ingenuity, and so on. Now, if playing 4 characters all at the same time sounds a lot, it's not really, because essentially you are mainly focused on one, but you kind of build up a relationship between the 4 characters in play, and you also build up relationships with the 4 other characters for each of the other characters. So not all of them, but some of them. You know, build connections and sort of like get attached to them. So in this one, let's have a look. You have the standard frontispiece artwork. You don't have the standard. There's no advertising there for a change. That's quite a change. You've got this fantastic artwork with the credits up there. You know, some awful beast basically pouring, you know, some vile acidic liquid onto your poor adventurer, who's actually managed to find a weapon, because typically if you are playing a Dungeon Core Classics funnel, you don't begin play with a weapon. You begin play with a tool. But anyway, you have essentially you've got an introduction explaining what it's about, background of the adventure, rumours and superstitions attached to the Onyx Queen, and the player background, and then we're into essentially notes about what the player characters start with, because essentially they begin play in the Mausoleum Cathedral of Mordigion. So Mordigion is the charnel god drawn from the works of Clark Ashton Smith, typically used in Call of Cthulhu scenarios associated with ghouls. And the thing is, this then adds a Lovecraftian tone to the adventure. You know, you've got ghouls who are going to be preparing the corpses for consumption or sacrifice and so on. And the player characters are going to be trying to escape from this mausoleum, because hey, they're going to be either eaten or sacrifices. Because you know, they start off essentially with location 1, Larder of Death, and it's pretty much like that for the rest of the adventure, including encounters with the death cult of the corpse god, and these creatures, these transformed cultists and ghouls, and running into areas like where they encounter the Acquire Agony table and its results, and what happens if they search particular locations like the sacristy. You've got a sacristy search table there, more great artwork, and then you've got the map of the location where they start. So this is just one level, and you've got sort of like the Mausoleum Cathedral of Mordigion. So you've got sort of like map, you've got another image of that creature there, with brave adventure there with sword, which is unlike anything that will happen in the adventure, because essentially the player characters, they'll have difficulty finding weapons. And then you've got actually an image of the mausoleum outside. So what you could actually do, this is what would be fun, you could actually just drop this into your, it would make for an interesting encounter in Nightmare, with a bit of adjustment here and there. The place is also covered in tomb moss, so you've got a tomb moss effect table depending upon how the player characters interact with it. You have other basically burial areas, or so you've got a vault of the Virgin Queen. There we go, very Snow White, but I don't think you can actually kiss her and wake her up. You've got a vault of the Philosopher King, and you've got a complete alphabet there for a puzzle. In between that, there's a gruesome dumb waiter. I'm not sure you want a dumb waiter, but a gruesome one, wonderful. And this, I think, this alphabet isn't properly explained there, just from a show you, but I think there is. Let's have a look. You've got sort of in the handouts here at the end. You've got the handout too. You've got like an alphabet there and a clue to solve it as well. So I'll show you that in a bit more detail. But you've got more confrontations with that beast. So that I think there's going to be like the major creature running around that the player characters are going to have to stop or deal with or avoid. And you've got the kind of the Dungeon Crawl Classics gang, the signature player character types or NPCs which are facing off against it there in the mausoleum of Mausoleum Cathedral of Mordigion. Upper halls, really nice maps here, and just showing you, you can place an adventure in another complete location that isn't a dungeon. Where you've got the Vault of the Fallen Princess and Vault of the Verdant Queen, and then you've got the location of the Undercroft. This is going to be underneath, so there we go. There's the Undercroft. Where you've here, it's the Fane of the Corpse God, and you've got an Onyx Jubilee combat matrix for when you're facing off against the Onyx Queen herself. Hopefully by that point the player characters will be prepared. They'll need to explore the rest of the complex before, presumably, you go any further. The adventure comes to a close, and then here you've got some handouts. So basically clues and so on, and that tablet with the images on it will be tied into. Just flip back. There we go. So that alphabet. So you've got sort of like an alphabet, sort of like of iconography alphabet, as it were. Another handout. So 4 handouts in all, and you've got images of those characters in combat seen earlier. These are all female. So the signature characters have got changed over the history of Dungeon Crawl Classics. You can see them all 4 in combat at the end, a bit in the middle there. So that's the Veiled Vault of the Onyx Queen. Dungeon Crawl Classics 101, a level 0 adventure. So let me point at level 101. So essentially what that means is there's been 101, and there are now more adventures of the Dungeon Crawl Classics. And you think sort of like, okay, you've got to the 100th Dungeon Crawl Classics release. It makes sense to be the 101st should be another funnel, because it is the signature kind of design element built into Dungeon Crawl Classics, essentially as a sort of like as a retro clone. Apart from the fact that it also draws heavily upon the Appendix N from the Dungeon Master's Guide for Advanced Dungeons and Dragons First Edition. And the other thing about funnels is that they are always fun. And it's clues in the name, funnel. And also they're also fun to design it. There is a designing an adventure which zero-level characters can play and potentially survive is always a challenge, and I think the authors of these always want to write more of them because they're such fun. Anyway, so that is the Veiled Vault for the Onyx Queen for Dungeon Crawl Classics. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you did, then please do click on the like button down below, and of course, if you've got any feedback or comments, appreciate you taking the time to post those down below. And lastly, if you want to be able to get more unboxings of the Nook, where you'll see me out here in the Read Nook with a box from which I will unbox a book or game or a role-playing game, supplement, and so on. In this case, a scenario for Dungeon Crawl Classics, which I will then talk about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do click the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook. I will be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.